Praying for Grace Church. Pray for growth. Not just numerical growth. Pray for spiritual growth in all of us. Pray for the biblical one another's. Pray for small group ministries. Pray for the children's ministry. Pray for Celebrate Recovery. Pray for the youth ministry. Pray for Grace Church. Pray for its growth, its spiritual growth, and numerical growth. Because when we are unified and that we continue to be unified, guess what? God will add to our number daily. So we're to pray for Grace Church. Also, discover spiritual growth. Discover spiritual growth. The Grow Seminar is it's perfect for this. It's part of the Super Saturday that's coming up. And you learn how to grow in your relationship with Christ. And so if you've actually already done this, well, I've already done Class 201, which this is the formally the Class 201. Do it again. Do it again. Use it as a refresher. Discover that spiritual growth. The next thing that you can do is join or start a small group. Join or start a small group. Now this ministry, the Grow team, is praying about this. It's at ground level. It's at ground level right now. We have a couple small groups, but you know what? We need small group leaders or small group facilitators. The Grow team is looking and praying about curriculum specifically for the small groups so that we can be intentional about our spiritual growth. We're going to be a lot more intentional about this ministry. Pray about being a part of or starting a small group. If you are interested in starting a small group, use the blue communication cards. You know, the Grow team's going to be, we're looking towards the fall, but we're hitting it now because then we can allow God to work in hearts and lives. And then also get involved in the summer cool. That's immediate. Getting plugged into the summer cool where we read a proverb a day, and then we read through the book of John, and then you touch base with a partner, so one-on-one through the summer, and just share what God is teaching you. Be a part of that. And I'm going to add another one. Use the insert, the one another's. Pray about and seek out to live that out every day. Every day. See, use that as a bookmark. Pray to strive to pray to live out the biblical one another's. I was trying to be fancy with some words and stuff. Just pray to live out the biblical one another's. Plain and simple. Use that. Pray about it. Pray about that. Let God work in your heart with that. There's one that will probably pop out at you and say, you know what? Maybe I have to do some forgiveness in my life. Or, you know what? Maybe I need to share encouragement to this person. Or maybe there has to be teaching here. God will direct you in that. But live out the biblical one another's. And imagine your life having those close, deep relationships in your life. That koinonia fellowship. That spurs every single one of us on for more spiritual growth, and how that will affect every single aspect of your life. It'll affect your family, affect your work, your ministry. That koinonia fellowship that oozes into everything. It oozes into you and it oozes into everything in your life. That you're growing in Jesus like never before. And that you're being used. Imagine being used in somebody's life that you've never imagined before. Imagine Grace, the Grace family, that we are not only known for being accepting of others, which we are, and it's a huge strength, but that we continue to lean into this koinonia fellowship, this koinonia community, that we are known as a family that has sweet fellowship, the koinonia fellowship that every single human being on the face of this earth longs for. Every single one of us longs for this. It's how we're wired. It's how God has designed us. Imagine that we continue to lean into that. Imagine that, Grace Church, that we continue, or that we don't just make converts to Christianity, but we continue to reproduce passionate followers of Jesus throughout the downriver community and beyond, because that's what God is calling us to do. To reproduce disciples who go out and make disciples, who go out and make disciples. That we reproduce. That we multiply. Just like like we read in Acts chapter 2. Imagine God taking us to heights that we can't even think or imagine right now. God is working. God is working in our midst. He's challenging us week by week. And it's amazing to see that challenge living out in your life, in your lives. I get to see it every week. Imagine even more. And you know who gets all the glory? God gets all the glory for what He's doing, not what any of us are doing. But we're all in it together, experiencing the koinonia of fellowship, praising God, and allowing God to add daily to our number. Let's pray. And Jesus, we just thank you and praise you for who you are, what you do, what you're doing in our midst. We give you praise, honor, and glory for your word. We ask that this sermon just kind of sinks into our hearts. Even this afternoon and tomorrow, we just pray that you continue to allow it to ferment in our minds, in our hearts. Jesus, continue to grow us spiritually. Continue to change people's lives week in and week out. We give you praise for you on the throne. That you're calling us to do this. We are so thankful that you are the author of what we call church. And Jesus, as I look around, I just pray for people that have come to this park that has burdens. We just pray that you show them your love, your grace, and your mercy. We pray that burdens are lifted, or we pray for, even this morning, you working in somebody else's life that comes alongside that person today. And they live out the biblical one another of bearing each other's burdens. We just pray for people here this morning that are out of work. I just pray that you continue to guide and direct them. I think of all the neighborhood houses and how many people are represented that may not have work, going through marriage difficulty, going through a child that's wayward. We just pray that this being our immediate mission field, Grace Church's immediate mission field, that you use us in these people's lives. We give you praise, honor, and glory. And God, we do pray for this food. We ask that you do it pleasant to our bodies so that we can serve you better. We just ask for the relationships that will be continued to deepen this morning as we just share life in the park this morning. And God, we pray for our offering. We just pray that you bless the giver. We ask that you continue to give us wisdom to utilize these resources that you've given us.